In the horror community, we dole out all the love for our fave final girls and slasher psycho killers. But what about the minor characters, the sidekicks, and hell, any hero other than Nancy, Lori, Sydney, for once? I said what I said. Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. Today, I just wanted to share with you some of my favorite horror characters that I feel like don't get enough love. This list is gonna include some heroes, of course some villains, and some like minor characters that I think just stole the show. Really quick though, before we get into that, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep for yourself, you can follow that link in the description. I'll go ahead and get my most predictable one out of the way first, and that is Gail and Dewey from the Scream franchise. Now, y'all know that Sydney is my fave. If this was a video about my favorite final girls, Sydney would be at the tippy top. But I feel like it's so easy for people to forget that Gail and Dewey also survived all 4 Scream movies and did their fair share of kicking Ghostface ass. So I feel like we just have to give credit where credit is due. Kind of little like addition to this entry, I want to just mention really quick Joel from Scream 2, because at least in my brain right now, I feel like he's the only Scream character that actually had the wherewithal to like cut and run before he got killed. Also, his character was just funny as hell in the scenes that he was a part of. Next is Jess from the original Black Christmas. Proto-slasher as a whole gets a lot of credit in the horror community, but I feel like Jess hardly gets the recognition she deserves for flipping the final girl trope on its head almost 20 years before that term even became a thing. Jess had to deal with that creepy phone call stalker dude on top of looking for her missing sorority sisters, on top of dealing with her man-baby boyfriend who thought he had any say in whether she got an abortion or not. Jess deserves all the praise. As long as we're talking about protagonists, I have to mention Geraldine real quick from Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. She has the role of hero thrust upon her by Breaker, and she actually handles it really well and proves that she's able to kick demon ass without a whole lot of training, really. Not to mention, she's able to hold that blood in her mouth during that whole like Billy Zane dance sequence, and while dealing with his like fire dick. Like, what was that supposed to be?
I'm sorry.
Either way, she dealt with it. Okay, now on to some villains. All right, well, maybe just one. My queen, Akasha from Queen of the Damned. I know, she's not a good person, vampire, not a good vampire. She did kill that whole club of vampires while looking for Lestat. By the way, Xena at Real Queen of Horror did an awesome video about like club scenes in horror movies, so you should watch that. There's some Akasha love in that video too. But even still, Akasha is just so cool. I mean, she kills her king to come out of her vampire coma? Is that what that was supposed to be? Was she sleeping? I'm still not really sure. And also she makes Lestat think that he is going to be king of anything or in charge of anything without even lifting a finger, just by using her beauty, essentially. She's awesome, okay? And I feel like as much as I love Queen of the Damned, I feel like that movie did her wrong, because I feel like she should have just been a way more formidable adversary, but she's still got a place in my heart, even though she might like rip it out and take a bite out of it. I'd be fine with that. All right, so the rest of the characters on this list are like minor characters, sidekicks, scene stealers. So first up with these minor characters is Sang-Hwa from Train to Busan. If I were making a video list of scene stealing characters, he would be in top 3 easily. He not only plays the role of the audience by pointing out how much of a dick Seok-woo is in the beginning, but when it comes down to it, he's a good guy and a complete badass. Basically, this dude was made for the zombie apocalypse. And he goes out like a hero in the first of what becomes many heartbreaking scenes that make up the end of Train to Busan.
Oh, don't cry, are you?
Next up is the only rent-a-cop, fictional or not, that I would actually feel safe around. And that is Reese from Urban Legend and Urban Legend 2 Final Cut. While she's not in every single scene of the movie, like any good scene stealer, she just captures your attention every time her character's on screen. And not only do I love her in each separate film, Urban Legend and Final Cut, but I feel like she actually gets some nice character development between those two movies. Final Cut Reese is quick to point out dumb things that characters do and is quick on her feet when it comes to figuring out who the killer is, obviously because of her experience, her character's experience, I should say, in the first movie. I just feel like you have to just sit back and appreciate when a character can grow from film to film. I love that. And finally is one that I always get people disagreeing with me on in the comments, respectfully disagreeing, mind you, so it's completely fine, but still, I just have to include Specs and Tucker from the Insidious franchise. Remember that non-existent video list of best scene stealers that I was talking about earlier? Specs and Tucker would be at the top of it. They're delightfully nerdy and awkward and easily scared, which is hilarious given their profession. They're basically Shaggy and Scooby-Doo to Elise's Velma and Fred and Daphne. I've seen some very sound arguments about how the duo adds a little too much comedic relief for a horror movie, but honestly, I don't mind because at least to me, they're just way too delightful to watch. So there you have it, kids. Let me know in the comments section below what your favorite like heroes, villains, minor characters, kind of scene stealers are that you feel like don't get enough love from the horror community. And of course, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. If you're new here or if you've been lurking, I see you lurkers. Subscribe, become a creepy peep today. You get 2 new videos a week from me where I talk to your faces. Thank you for listening to me talk this time, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Until then, stay strange. Bye.